Hi. I don't even know, I want to give a greeting like Shavua Tov, but it's Shavua, and I hope it's already Tov. Gemar Tov. Gemar Tov, right. Of course, that's what I should say. That's why he's sitting in the front row and not you. Gives me the right answers. Okay. I have my cute little notebook here. So first of all, the reason I really don't want this microphone stand here is because everything that I do is all about relationships. And if I have that microphone stand, it's kind of in the way of me, and it's in the way of my relationship with you, and it just blocks me physically. I'm kind of short. It would be better if I was, standing on something instead of next to something. And I like to keep the relationship close. Woo. But what I wanted to talk about, hang on, I'm looking for the title. Who has my title here? It's a good one. It's a very good one. Also in the front row, she has my title.
Finding forgiveness and misunderstandings.
Finding forgiveness and misunderstandings.
What I said isn't what you heard.
And what I said isn't what you heard. So first of all, one of the first times that I ever went to speak, I went to a Hadassah group in New Jersey. And I was very young and I was very pregnant. And I was very uncomfortable because it was a whole room of people that I didn't know. And it was one of the first times that I went to speak. And a lot of people since then said, do you get nervous? And I'm like, no, not usually. Maybe if I don't know the crowd or I don't know the people, but it's just normal now. But the very first time I got very nervous. And then I walked in the room and I was the youngest person in the room by a couple decades. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's gonna be okay. Now, why did I think it's going to be okay? Because I think people, as we age, we have a lot of wisdom. And we know, we're very forgiving. It's okay, sweetheart. You could make a mistake. Don't worry. You're so cute. You're so sweet. It doesn't matter what you say. And I knew when I walked into that audience, I had a forgiving audience. And it was something that put my nerves at ease, and it relaxed me immediately. But I might not have felt that if I was in a room with my peers, because our peers judge us at any age, at any stage. We feel it so much stronger. But as we get older and we have this wisdom, we become a little bit more forgiving. So I started to think about this whole topic, and I could have written a whole Megillah about forgiveness that would have kind of been my forgiveness poem. So I'm going to read to you my forgiveness poem. It's going to kind of be you read it and then you give the explanation and you go through the whole thing. It's going to be like Aleeza's Torah on forgiveness. Oh, wait. I also wanted to, wait, you're recording, so I don't need to record? Okay, never mind. I was going to record so I don't forget. Sometimes I say things on the spot and they're very good, and I've never thought it before and I've never said it before, and it will never come out that way again and I'll never remember it. So I like things recorded. Okay, here's my Aleeza's forgiveness poem. Pay attention, because I like to play with words. What I said isn't what you heard. What you heard isn't what I meant. What I meant isn't what you understood. What you understood isn't what I wanted to convey. What I wanted to convey isn't clear. What's clear to you needs to be further clarified by me. What's clarified by me might irritate you. What irritates you irritates me, because what I said isn't what you heard. I could read this 1,000 times, and I feel like I could stand there on Yom Kippur and go like this. Oh, sorry, that was the mic. But that I could do my tshuva on this, because so often what I said and what you hear, they're not the same thing. And it could be extremely problematic if you misinterpret what I mean. I've been on Netflix, as you know, and the very first episode of the show is called Date 'Em Till You Hate 'Em. The very first chapter in my new book is called Date 'em Till You Hate 'em. And I have to tell you, I don't like the word hate. It really irritates me and it gets under my skin. And I keep thinking, why are you using a word that you don't want to use? Is that what you mean? Is that what you want people to understand? And I often ask people, do you understand what I mean when I say this? And a lot of people say, yeah, I mean, I guess if I hate him, I shouldn't marry him. And I'm like, no, that's not the point of date him till you hate him. Date him till you hate him means actually look with a forgiving eye. First dates, they don't go over so well. You know, maybe go on a second date. Maybe you weren't your best. Maybe they weren't their best. Maybe you didn't understand what they said. Maybe if you go out again, you'll see something from a different perspective. It means give yourself another chance. It means give them another chance. But if I say those words in any other way, you will never remember it. And I have millions of people across the world that remember date them till you hate them. But if I say, when in doubt, go out, you going to remember that? You're going to go home tonight, you will not remember that. If it's not a no, it's a go. Is it clever? It's clever. Are you going to remember that? You're not going to remember that. But if I say date them till you hate them, you're like, oh, how could she say that? It's shocking. And it's ridiculous. And we don't hate anybody. Love your neighbor as yourself. Use your words carefully. Choose your words carefully. And I had somebody write me an email and said exactly what I've been saying to myself for the last 2.5 years. Why are you using this word? It's ridiculous. You shouldn't be using the word hate. Look at the world that we live in. Look at what's going on. Look how much hate exists. You're using it in a way of joking. You're using it in a way of grabbing attention. You're using it in a way of trying to transform people's thinking. But it's still this word hate. And I keep thinking, but it is the most memorable thing that when you do understand it and you chap. And just today, as I was listening upstairs to the talks, I was like, oh my gosh, I have the Jewish mushal, okay? In the davening, we say, Shalom asani isha. How many people does that really bother? Why can't we just say, thanks for making me a man? Right? How many people get all up in arms until you actually get in and you understand and what does it mean? And oh, thank God, I have all these mitzvot to do. There's so much good in the world. And everybody can't accept these words. And I'm like, oh my gosh, date them till you hate them. It's there too. We have it. The point of this is that our language is so important. And we should be specific and clear. But if what I said you didn't understand, you don't understand my message, and you don't understand me. And when you don't understand me, we have distance between us. And the minute that we have distance between us, we start to have problems. And then we start to judge. And then we start to look with not such a good eye anymore. And I don't feel so connected anymore to you. And then all of a sudden we have a problem and now everybody's asking for forgiveness and trying to deal with the situation. And it all came from a root of misunderstanding, which, by the way, you will have for the rest of your life. So even though we come and we hear a shir today and this year and we're like, aha, finally, this year we are going to get it right. I'm going to speak right. I am going to communicate correctly. I am going to really help myself to just do it right. I'm going to do it right. It doesn't matter how right I do it, because what you hear and what you understand always has the possibility of us being misunderstood and something being taken in the wrong way. And I keep thinking, oh my gosh, every year we're standing there and we're doing tshuva and we're saying, I'm sorry. And I looked at the list and I'm like, I didn't necessarily do that. I mean, not in that way. And I'm saying, I'm sorry for all of this. And somebody said, no, this is the klal. We are saying, I'm sorry on behalf of the entirety of the Jewish people, on behalf of this whole world that is sorry for all the mistakes that we've made and for the way that things have turned out. And it's a very difficult position to be in, to think that I am never, ever going to be able to get it right all the time. because me getting it right depends on my relationship with you, whomever you are. If you could imagine what I went through with the show and filming, I want you to understand the magnitude of what I took on that potentially could have been completely unforgivable for the Jewish people, and I personally had no control. There was nothing that I signed that said you can approve it, that what comes out of your mouth will cut and splice together in the right order and it'll make you sound like you. Literally everything that I said, they could cut and paste and put it together. So I could be laughing with you. I could be laughing at you. Just depends how they cut it. And I knew that if I didn't say the right thing at the right time, and if I didn't somehow convince the producers and everybody that was working with me that that's what I really meant, they literally could have taken everything and flipped it. And you wouldn't have understood me. You wouldn't have known me. A lot of people say, oh, I saw the show. I feel like I know you. And my answer is you do, because they didn't actually ruin me, and they did actually put my words in order, and they put the right clips together. But there were some things that initially were there that I asked them to change, because it wasn't what I said, it wasn't what I meant, and they understood it in one way because they could get a laugh out of it, and it was funny, but it was very bad for me, and it wasn't a good representation. And we are constantly up against representing who we are in this world to every single person, to our family, to our friends, to our community. What do we say? How do we say it? In what tone did we say it? Did we smile and say something but have a crinkle on our brow so they know we didn't mean it? It's not just what we say. It's how we say it. It's when we say it. But it's also how the other person on the other side interprets it. And I can guarantee you that what you said and what you meant, somebody didn't understand. And that's at the root of this problem that we have, which is we can never get it right. So if anybody wants an excuse for getting it wrong, you can go home and tell your spouse, Aleeza said, I'm always going to get it wrong, because that's the way the world is built. But it's because of our communication that we have to work through this on a daily basis. What you heard isn't what I meant. I want you to think for a minute, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you have children, friends, anybody in the world. What you heard isn't what I meant. When I first got married, we had, the normal marriage things, and we had a moment where we had a fall, like a pretty big emotional communication fall between us. And I said, marriage is hard. Nobody told me it was going to be this hard. I think we should just cut our losses and get out. At about 2 months, I said that. Did I mean that? No, that's not what I meant. What did I mean? I meant I'm in pain. This is hard. I don't know what to do. Nobody trained me. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Help. That's what I meant. Thank God my husband understood, and he said, listen, we don't use the D word in our house. We're not getting divorced. We have a problem. Actually, I don't know what your problem is. I don't know when or how I can help you solve this problem, or when you can do this. And I don't know where we go from here, except that we keep going because we're married and we're going to figure this out. And I love you and you love me. And tomorrow's another day and we'll try again. I am extremely, extremely grateful I didn't marry a person with a different personality type, because anybody else might have said to me, marriage is hard. I think so too. You want out? I want out. That's it. I'm done. Now I'm a pretty strong-headed woman, if you've noticed. If he would have walked, I probably would have just walked also. I'm not going to chase you. You don't want it. I don't want it. This is too hard. We agreed. We tried 2 months. We quit. I would have had no idea, first of all, what the word hard meant in marriage. That's funny. You should laugh. And also, I would have never had the opportunity to build the relationship that we have. To come back, to say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say that again. I got it. Marriage-minded. I'm focused on this relationship, but I'm in pain, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to do it, and I don't even know how to get to the next step. And at one point, I just went over to my bookshelf. I pulled out my Inani book, and I started davening. There's a blessing in there. A woman can daven for her husband. And I started saying that prayer on repeat over and over and over again because I couldn't figure out anything else to do. And I sat on the couch, and I cried, and I prayed, and I said, I'm sorry, and I said, I'm really grateful. Thank you for understanding that's not really what I meant, and I won't do that again. Thank you for setting me straight, and I just need your help. Let's get through this. And that's how we got through it. And it was through the process of, thank God, in that moment, not having a misunderstanding, because it could have led to something really tragic. What I meant isn't what you understood. I don't know if you've heard this phrase, but there's a phrase out there that says, women don't need to be understood, they need to be loved. Have you guys heard of that one? It's like a little quote, it goes on the wall, and the men are like, listen, don't understand her, never gonna understand her, but I love you, and everything's fine. I don't know that I agree with that quote. I think it's a nice sentiment. I think it's, yeah, you know the quote. He knows the quote. I think maybe if you made an attempt at knowing her, you would know the difference between when she wants to be understood and when she wants to be loved. And sometimes, yes, we just want love, we want support, and that's something that we need. But for me, and I don't know about all the ladies here, I want to be understood. I don't want to say something and you just nod and you're like, yeah, sweetheart. That's like not enough for me. I want you to get what's at the root of what I'm saying, because that, for me, it's the essence of my soul. I am sharing something with you. Even we drive down the road and I'm like, I look out the road still. We made Aliyah 4.5 years ago, and I still look out on the road and I get teary-eyed and I'm like, we did it. We did it. I'm practically crying. I cannot believe we actually made it here. We did it. We picked up our whole life, our 5 kids, our pandemic puppy. We moved across the world and we got here and we made Aliyah and we're still here. Mazel tov. We're still here. It's not just that you get here and you make Aliyah. You are still here. And I look out the window and I cry. Well, if he would start to laugh at me like, yeah, sweetheart, again, I always do that. He looks at me and he's like, I know, we did it. I was like, pretty miraculous. He understood what's going on for me in that moment. For me to be misunderstood and go, oh, I love you, sweetheart. I would feel very distant from you. It wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't build our relationship. I want to be understood. I am having a deep moment where I am looking outside this window and just connecting to the fact that I did it. We did it. We're all here against pretty much all odds. And other than like second cousins, we don't have family here. We didn't immigrate easily. We didn't have and we also went to Pardes Chana. So we went to Sofa Olam, the end of the earth, which is the best place in the world. Come visit us. And we don't have family. And we just did it and we got here. But to be misunderstood and just loved in that moment, I don't want to be loved. I want you to understand. I'm appreciating Hashem in this moment. And if not, I'm going to be pretty upset with you that you're not even bothering to connect with me, which is going to bring us to a point of fighting in the car instead of crying in the car and having the most beautiful moment that we could ever have. What you understood isn't what I wanted to convey. Sometimes it's not our words only that we hurt people, but it's our actions. So, I didn't get what you wanted. You gave me the grocery list. It was very organized. I still didn't pick out number 3, 7, and 10. It wasn't there. It wasn't in the shop. Sure, it wasn't. It's in aisle 2 on the left at the bottom, behind the white thing, Sometimes we just don't do what we should do. And what you understand from it is you don't love me enough. If you cared about me enough, if you loved me enough, you would do more. If you respected me, if you actually respected me, you would take care of these things. You know how I like it. You know me. You don't have to be psychic. We're together. And I think that as we talk through this, we get all heated. What you understood from my action or lack of action conveyed something to you, and all of a sudden, in your head, you now have a whole story. Literally, somebody didn't pick up something from the grocery store. Maybe they forgot, maybe they didn't, I don't even care. And you have a story in your head that's a mile long. If you look at a fence, okay, and you have all of the wooden slats next to each other, but a little gap in between each one of those wooden fence slats. You're on this side, I'm on this side of the fence. If I go running by the fence, what are you gonna see? You know, my eyes, my head, nothing. My eyes, my head, nothing, okay? What does your brain do? Your brain literally looks at that in 1 second and it puts together my whole body, and you see me running behind the fence. Do you actually just see a sliver of me as you see through that? No. Do you actually see that? You don't. You don't. Our brains are magnificent at telling a story that makes sense to us. Because if it doesn't make sense, how can we process it? So you don't just see slice of Aleeza as I'm running by. You just see me going by, but it's not what you see. And this happens in life. In life, there's a relationship that we have with other people, and we see one little slice. And I got a whole story about what just happened. Can you think of a time where something happened, just one thing happened, and you now have a whole story about what happened? Think about kids. You know, clean your room, clean your room, clean your room, clean your room. Do they ever clean the room? They don't clean the room. You're lazy. No, they just didn't clean the room. I have a story. They're lazy, they're unmotivated, they don't care what I think, they don't care about the house, they don't respect the rules. I have 10 things running through my head. They literally just didn't clean the room. Did you ask them why they didn't clean the room? Do we know why they didn't clean the room? Were they tired? Were they too busy with their friends? Were they busy doing Bikur Cholim and helping their friends so they didn't help themselves? Do we actually know what happened? We don't. And we get so upset and we get so frustrated that we can't focus on what actually just happened. And now we have a massive problem. And now there's a disconnect. And now we need to do tshuva. And now somebody has to say, I'm sorry. And it's not me. I'm not wrong. I didn't do the wrong thing. They didn't clean up their room. It's their fault. Whose fault is it? Who cares? My mother said, you know, when you make a left, the person making a left, if you're not from America and you drive on the other side of the road, this doesn't work. But when you're making a left in America, you know, you want to be, you know, right, or you want to be dead right. Like you could go, it's your turn, you have the right way. But if oncoming traffic is coming, you're going to be dead right. You're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Who cares that you actually were able to do it and it was your turn? When you do it wrong, it doesn't work. And when you're in a relationship with somebody else, who cares who's actually right or who's actually wrong? We have a problem. If we have a problem, right and wrong doesn't even matter anymore. We have no shalom between us. We have something that needs healing. We have something that needs tshuva. We have something that needs forgiveness. And not just, I'm sorry, but let me understand, who are you? What's going on for you? Why did this happen? And not just live on a past memory of why I think this happened to somebody previously. What I conveyed isn't clear. When I write newsletters, when I put something out there, there's always a process of writing something and doing it again and again. And there's something that's referred to as sloppy copy. Memorable, you'll go home and you'll think about it. Okay? Sloppy copy. What's sloppy copy? I just do a brain dump and it's like, what needs to go in the newsletter? And it's like, well, we have an event, we have a program, blah, blah, blah. It just word vomit it out. Is that going to be good enough? It's not going to be good enough. What I conveyed isn't clear. So we have to work through it and we have to clarify it. And when we're talking to people, we should just say, listen, I'm sorry, But I don't want to just say, I'm sorry. I want you to understand what was going on with me. Let me explain this to you, not because I'm explaining away the problem, but because I want you to understand why I did this. But I'm going to say it in sloppy copy. Don't judge me on the words that are coming out of my mouth right now. I am trying to go through the tshuva process, and I might get it wrong again, even before I get it right. That's a possibility. So just be a little bit forgiving with your ear as you're hearing everything that I am saying. I want you to understand it's not perfect, right? I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. And in the next sentence, you just insulted me. Do I believe you? I don't believe you. You're sorry? You're really sorry? You wouldn't have done that again. I didn't mean it that way. And wait, you didn't, let me finish my thought. If I start to speak and I say something and you cut me off mid-sentence, I might mean this, I might mean that. You won't know the difference unless you hear me all the way through. I also want you to think about what is your style of communication. Some people, Israeli, are very direct. Say it like it is. Who are you? What do you do? Why'd you do that? What's wrong with you? They'll just let you know. Very clear. I actually happen to really like direct humans. I'm never guessing with them. You might insult me. I might not like what you said. I might not like how you said it, but I'm not questioning what you mean because you were direct. There's other people that are very indirect. They beat around the bush. They say it like this and they want you to interpret what they're saying and meaning. Some people are a little passive. Maybe you should read their mind. Instead of me trying to give you a hint, I'm just going to stand there and look at you until you figure out and you hop what's going on. We all have a different communication style. And between you and whomever you're speaking with, that communication style is going to come into conflict at some point in time. It's not going to be a perfect communication style. And you can also talk about that. As you go through the forgiveness process and you're working on it, you can say, listen, you're a really direct communicator. I am indirect. And I'm trying, I'm practicing. I love direct communication. Aleeza is not always a direct communicator. My husband will tell you that. He's like, just, what do you want? Say what you mean. And I was like, well, I did. He goes, no, just say the thing. Say it. And he pulls it out of me because he is a direct communicator. Crystal clear. Like what he says, don't like what he says, you know what he means. That's it. Right? And I'm like, well, maybe we could. And he's like, maybe nothing. What do you want? I was like, well, but if you don't want this, then maybe I could be flexible. He's like, what do you want? Speak up for yourself. Just say it, right? It's very hard when you have two different people that communicate differently and constantly have to be in contact with each other and constantly get it wrong before they actually get it right. What's clear to you needs to be further clarified by me. We each have a different timeline for when we hop and we get it and we have that aha moment. Some people are fast thinkers, some people are slow thinkers, and some people are just thinkers. Okay? If you are a fast thinker and you are communicating with a slow thinker or somebody who just simmers on that thought for a really long time, you're going to have a hard time moving through the communication and even through the forgiveness process. And what's clear to you needs to be further clarified by me. There will always be a slowest person in the relationship in terms of the processing and moving through something. If you are not the slowest person, you have to give grace to the other side. They say that curiosity killed the cat, but I think that curiosity cured the cat, meaning it's through curiosity in the relationship. When we're talking, when we're trying to figure out what's going on, if I'm the fast thinker and I get it and then great, and I'm done. I don't want to go through this anymore. You should just figure it out. But instead of doing that, I ask questions. I get curious. What do you think about that? How did that go over? How did that land with you? I said something. Did that resonate? Did that really... Do you get what I mean? No, not exactly. Well, what do you understand? Because if I can understand what you understand, then maybe we can take the next step in the tshuva process. What's clarified by me may irritate you. We basically all have a tuning in time. So let's say we're going to get to this forgiveness process with another human in the world, okay? In this forgiveness process, everybody has a tuning in length of time. Somebody will have a shorter time and somebody will have a longer time. Some people want to talk about it now. It happened now and I want to talk about it now. You know, the people that say, never go to bed angry. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. Go to bed angry. Wake up tomorrow. You'll feel a little calmer. Good, then you can talk about it. That's my method. That works for me in my relationship. There's other people, no. We have a problem, we solve it now. I can't go to bed like this. I won't be able to sleep. Figure out your tolerance timeline. Sometimes I'll come home, I'll be excited, I'll have a lot of things I want to share with my husband, and he'll look at me and he'll go, 3 minutes. That's about the attention span that I have. It has nothing to do with me. It's not me. We each have a tolerance timeline. What is it? If you could talk all night and they could listen for 2 minutes, you have to come to an understanding. It doesn't have to do with the other person. It's not between you. Do they love you more or less, or do they want to be in relationship with you? Whether it's work, professional, friends, family, we all have a tuning in and a tolerance time. Call it out. Call out whatever, not here, but with the person that you're engaging in communication with. Call out what your tolerance timeline is. Set a limit on it. Listen, we do need to discuss this. I don't know if we're going to get to the end of this discussion today. I think I have about 5 minutes of headspace to do this. Or my schedule's clear. You want to sit for the next half hour and just hash this out? I just want to work through it. Do you have the time? Do you have the space? Calling it out and saying something clarifies it, and it brings us closer together. What irritates you irritates me. Good. I'm so happy. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Why am I happy that what bothers you bothers me? Because that means we're in a relationship together. Again, no matter what kind of relationship, friend, family, doesn't matter, community. If it bothers you and what bothers you bothers me, that means I actually care about you. Because when I don't care about you, it doesn't bother me. Whatever, do whatever you want. I'm good. No, complete disconnection. I don't care. I don't need you. I don't have to be in relationship with you. It's good. You do you. You know, people, you do you. Do they care about you? Yeah, they care about you so much that they don't want to have a conversation with you. You just do your thing and they'll just ignore you because that's good enough, because they don't have the patience to listen to you, because they don't really want to be in a relationship with you. But when what bothers you bothers me, then we can talk it out, fight it out, duke it out, and figure out how to go from here to there. It means that I care about you, and it means that you care about me, and it means that we care about each other. Because what I said isn't what you heard. Remember this. What somebody says may not be what you hear and understand. If you start with that basic understanding, you will avoid so many misunderstandings. Question yourself. Question other people. Remind yourself deep down, I care about you, you care about me. Get curious and start to learn about each other. In terms of forgiveness, I think that this is our moment in life to really do a deep worldly tshuva forgiveness. It's our time to do a deep personal forgiveness. It's asking forgiveness from other people. It's also looking inside and asking forgiveness from ourselves. It's important that we don't walk around judging ourselves, misunderstanding ourselves. Start with that relationship before we move anywhere else. There's something that is new in the world called the forgiveness experiment. There's a rabbi in Montreal named Rabbi Yisrael Bernath, and he came up with this concept of the forgiveness experiment. What if I would just forgive everybody in my life? And he's like, who do I really have to forgive? And he went back and he looked into his whole history and he's like, no, I'm holding on something from there, and I'm holding on something from there. And he had this aha moment and realization that not forgiving somebody didn't harm them. They may not even know. it harmed him. And as soon as he became open to the idea of forgiveness and tshuva at a really deep, large level, things in his life started to shift and open up. So I want to end with a blessing. Please, God, may we forgive ourselves. May we understand ourselves and others in the world. And may this year be a true year of forgiveness for the Jewish people.